guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be going over practical, honest weight loss advice that you need to hear. I actually filmed a full day of eating yesterday, went to edit it today, recorded half of it in slow-mo. Half the day I recorded in slow-mo, so change of plans. But I had the idea to make this video next week anyway, so now we're just swapping it around. We're going to start with the obvious stuff first. If you've been on my page, on my channels, you already know how I feel about calorie tracking and how important it is using a food scale, becoming an informed consumer, okay? Whether you're counting or not, the calories are adding up, okay? So if you choose not to calorie track, your body is still counting the calories, okay? And if you don't track your calories, you will be compensating in other areas. You'll be fixating on getting a certain amount of steps or getting a certain amount of exercise or getting a certain amount of cardio in. So if you don't fixate on the calories, you're gonna fixate in another area. Plain and simple. When you're actively trying to lose weight, you're going to fixate in some area. Too much variety. You want too much variety. Not all of your meals are going to be a gourmet experience, a dopamine hit. Food is fuel. Food is what gives you energy to move your body, to be active, to feel good. But if it is your number one source of joy and happiness and you're constantly using it as a crutch, or if you had a bad day, you're using food as a reward or something to make you feel better, that's gonna make a calorie deficit really difficult for you. You have to start looking at food differently. And I'm not saying you can't gain any joy from food. I still gain joy from food in a calorie deficit, within reason though. Within reason, that's what is important to acknowledge. Balance, of course, yes. Balance, but also being honest with yourself and knowing when you're just making excuses and taking the easy way out. Having too much variety in your diet causes decision fatigue. And it makes your life more difficult when you're constantly having to think about what you're gonna put together, what's in the fridge, what you need to cook, what you need to buy. If you have all of these different variables, you already have a busy life. You have so much shit going on. Let food be something that is autopilot, that you don't even have to think about. And this is why I always talk about eating 2 meals the same every single day. And if you're gonna sit there and say, oh, but I get bored, have 2 or 3 different things in your rotation then, okay? Have a weekly meal rotation. If you get bored of something, have something else that is already prepared for you in the fridge. And this is why I'm huge on meal prepping ingredients. Ingredients over full-blown meals, because sometimes maybe you won't be in the mood for a chicken wrap, so then you make a salad instead, or you throw it on a flatbread and make a pizza. If you have meat meal prepped and you have some type of vegetable meal prepped, that's gonna make your life a whole lot easier rather than meal prepping the same meal and eating it for like 4 days. Yeah, I can understand how you might get sick of that. So meal prep ingredients over full-blown meals. That's my advice there, because I also get kind of disgusted by 3-day-old meal prepped wrap or something. No, thank you. Keep 2 meals the same every day. This is gonna make your life so much easier. If you have watched any of my What I Eat in a Days, you would know that I pretty much eat the same shit every day, whether I'm in a calorie deficit or not, because I like what I like. I know what meals are easily digestible for me, what meals keep me full, make me feel good. Why would I stray away from that? Like, again, I'm not constantly deriving pleasure and dopamine from food. I don't fucking care. Food shouldn't be this emotional experience every day. I think that this is where we've really lost the plot when it comes to health and fitness, is like relationship with food and making it this emotional ass experience. A calorie deficit is gonna be hard as fuck for you if you're really emotional about food, okay? Food is an inanimate object. It's an inanimate object. It has no moral value, only whatever value you assign to it, okay? Same thing with like good and bad foods. It doesn't exist unless you're going there, unless you're labeling foods. Otherwise, it's neutral. It's completely neutral. And this takes reprogramming, this takes time. I grew up in a time where a lot of foods were demonized and labeled as bad, and it took years for me to undo that, for me to rewire my brain, rewire my neural pathways. Doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice. Another like really common misconception, but important, you don't need to starve. You don't need to starve to be in a calorie deficit. Yes, you're gonna be a little bit hungry. That's completely normal. If your body is used to you over consuming calories, of course, when you cut back on the calories that you're consuming, your body's gonna be like, what the fuck? Completely normal, okay? It's normal to have a little bit of hunger in a deficit. Get used to it, lean into it. You're not causing yourself any harm if you're eating within a reasonable calorie deficit, okay? Reasonable meaning anywhere from 250 to 500 calories minus your maintenance, okay? That's a reasonable calorie deficit. Anything more than 500, that's extreme. What you need to know is that 3,500 calories is 1 pound of fat. So if you want to lose 1 pound of fat a week, you would need to put yourself in a 500 calorie deficit daily. If you want to lose half a pound a week, put yourself in a 250 calorie deficit. And what is right for you? I don't know, I'm not you. All my clients are different. Some of them take a slower approach because it's more sustainable for them and they choose to eat out at restaurants more. They don't want to be in as big of a deficit. And then I have other people who want to get it done more quickly and they're totally fine doing a 500 calorie deficit. It really depends. It really depends. But normally I put people somewhere in between. Anywhere in between 250 to 500. All right? That is more than enough. Anything more than that and you risk an unsustainable calorie deficit, regaining all the weight back, being absolutely miserable, quality of life being garbage. And like, I'm not even gonna go to the other territory of extremes. Just don't fucking do it. Don't go there. Don't do that shit to yourself. There's so many repercussions that people don't even think about. If you're that fixated on your body looking a certain type of way, you need to see a therapist, okay? Like, you need help mentally. There's so many other reasons to get in shape besides for aesthetic purposes. And I think that's the problem with young girls, is that they don't appreciate health or understand it, because when you're young, you can do more extreme things and not see the side effects right away. But I can tell you, you will deteriorate your health over time if you participate in extreme behaviors regarding exercise and nutrition. Okay, don't fucking do it. Don't do it to yourself. Don't go down that road. Take a sustainable approach. It's much more enjoyable. I promise you. Stop focusing so much on the end result. I'm gonna get to that. On that topic, don't cut anything out of your diet. You don't need to cut anything out of your diet. The only way to lose weight is by being in a calorie deficit, no matter what the fuck you're eating. If it fits your macros, is a thing, yeah. Obviously, nutrients are important though. You want to be eating mostly whole foods. You're gonna feel better, your mental health is gonna be better, your digestion is gonna be better, your body composition is gonna be better. A little bit of everything. Healthy amount of fat, healthy amount of carbs, healthy amount of protein, fiber, get all of it in. There is no singular food that will make you gain weight. There's no singular food that will make you lose weight. It's all a numbers game at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's calories in, calories out, no matter what. Everybody will lose weight if they are eating in a calorie deficit. If you're not losing weight and you think you're eating in a calorie deficit, you're not eating in a calorie deficit. There's a lot of nuances. There's a lot of little things that people miss, overlook, or they tend to think that they're adhering a lot better than they actually are. You don't learn moderation by avoiding foods, which is why I'm telling you, don't restrict any of the foods that you love, because the way that you lose weight is how you're gonna have to sustain it. So if you think, oh, I'll just temporarily cut out carbs and then once I lose the weight, I'll just go back to my normal eating, you're gonna gain all the way back, and some, probably. You don't need to cut out the foods you love. I don't know how much I can stress this. I think it's so funny because in my day-to-day life, I will literally have people say to me, oh, you look like that because you eat so healthy, because you eat so many whole foods. Majority of my fitness journey, I was doing if it fits your macros, okay? I was not really prioritizing whole foods that much. Protein, yeah, I was prioritizing that, but I was doing if it fits your macros, because guess what? The weight's gonna fucking come off no matter what you are eating. Like, I get so frustrated when people think, like, when they talk about how they're eating fast food, like, oh, my problem is I just eat so much fast food, I just eat so much Chick-fil-A. I could have the same fucking diet as you and I would still lose weight, because you're eating in a surplus. You're eating in a surplus. Whether you're eating in a surplus of fast food or healthy food, it doesn't fucking matter. A surplus is a surplus. So eat all the healthy fucking food you want. If you're eating in a surplus, you're gonna gain weight. It's science. I didn't fucking make the rules. I didn't make the rules. Okay, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you how it is, and it's literally so frustrating when people say that stuff to me, because it's such a cop-out. It's literally such a cop-out. You're just not eating in a calorie deficit. It's that simple. And I know you don't want to fucking hear that, but that's why tracking the calories, using the food scale, doing the annoying shit you don't want to do. It's the only way. Doing boring fucking shit repeatedly. That's how you get results. How did I build this body? Doing the same boring shit day in and day out for years, over and over again, consistently. And here I am today. Okay, there is no secret. There's literally no secret. Boring ass shit. Boring shit. There's no magical solution. It's boring shit. And if you can't commit to that, you need too much variety, you can't be helped. You literally can't be helped. I kind of covered this already, but don't allow food so much power over you. Don't let food take up so much mental space. Again, I know this is easier said than done. It's one of those things that takes practice, but you have to stop giving food so much power. Stop giving it so much power. It's fuel, it's a resource. Food is not meant to be entertainment and dopamine 24/7. So some meals, you're gonna eat some bland shit to get you through the day, to get you through your calorie deficit. You're not gonna be eating delicious, tasty shit all the time, unless you have enough time on your hands to make meals like that. But I know majority of people are on the go, they're fucking busy, they're grabbing whatever's convenient to them. And if you don't have a plan, you're not organized, you don't have shit meal prepped, that's when you're gonna go get fast food or restaurant food. It's all up to you. It comes down to organization. All right, this is another big one, snacking. And trust me, I'm a big snacker. I love to snack, but when I'm in a calorie deficit, I have to be strategic about it, okay? I typically have 3 meals a day and dessert, 1 snack. If I'm actually hungry for it, be honest with yourself. Are you actually hungry for it? Do not stand in front of the pantry and continuously dip your hand in different things. Those calories add the fuck up whether you're putting them in MyFitnessPal or not, okay? Yeah, I'm talking to you. I know, because I've been that person. That's like, but I'm tracking my calories, like, I don't understand, I'm not losing weight. Okay, you fucking failed to add in the copious amounts of handfuls of chips or random shit that you ate throughout the day. Like, be honest with yourself. You're self-sabotaging. It's pretty simple. So when it comes to a snack, if you want chips, I'm not saying like chips are bad or anything, just use the food scale and measure it out and go sit down with it. Don't stand in front of the fridge, don't stand in front of the pantry and keep dipping your hand in. Get out the food scale, measure out a serving, sit the fuck down, and then get out of the kitchen. If you stand around the kitchen, you're gonna find something to eat. Like, you know, it's self-explanatory. Remove yourself. Okay, big one, limit eating out. If you really want results quickly, limit eating out. Honestly, fast food a lot of times is a better option because they list the calories. You know exactly how much you're eating. When you go out to a restaurant, restaurants cook with a ton of oil and butter. Those calories add up very quickly. And at best, you're guesstimating. You're taking a ballpark idea of how much you're eating, and it's impossible for you to know exactly how many calories you're eating because you didn't prepare it. You didn't see how it was prepared, how many ounces your meat was, how much oil or butter went into it. It's too hard to calculate. So if you're going out multiple times a week, chances are you are taking yourself out of your calorie deficit and probably eating your maintenance. Like, it's just a matter of fact. And it sucks, but it's the truth. And realistically, nobody needs to be eating out more than twice a week. Like, why? Why are you eating out twice a week? Unless you're on vacation, you're fucking traveling, and you don't have access to a kitchen or a grocery store. Okay, or you're a college student, you have to eat off of a meal plan. Okay, different circumstances. But if you're a grown-ass adult and you have the ability to have groceries and cook your own food, you literally have no fucking reason to be eating meals out more than once or twice a week. Just no excuse. I'm sorry. And then finally, on the topic of food and nutrition, you don't need to eat the same amount every day. I know I have talked about this a million times, but go off of a weekly total. You don't need to eat the same amount of calories every day. Your appetite's gonna vary. Some days you're gonna be hungrier, some days you're gonna be less hungry. Follow a weekly total instead. So if you use a calorie calculator online, whatever number it gives you, take that number, the daily total that it gives you, multiply that by 7, because there's 7 days in a week. That's gonna give you your weekly total. And you can split that up any way that you want. As long as you hit your weekly total, you will lose body fat. Doesn't matter if one day you eat 1,500 and one day you eat 2,000, if by the end of the week, you're hitting your weekly total. Simple math. The next thing that we're gonna talk about is exercise. I know a lot of you guys are cardio junkies and HIIT workout junkies, especially like I wanna say like 30 to 40 age range is where like HIIT became the super popular form of exercise. It's quite literally the least effective workout. Unless you're training for athletic endurance, HIIT workouts are not gonna help you build muscle, okay? And all they do is increase your appetite, make you hungrier, and decrease your NEAT. And your NEAT burns more calories than cardio is gonna burn. NEAT is the stuff you don't think about. It's called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is like chores, fidgeting, pacing around, going for a casual walk, okay? Your NEAT contributes 15%. Exercise contributes 5%. Another thing to understand, you don't lift weights to burn calories. You lift weights to build muscle, okay? The easiest and best way to burn more calories without increasing your appetite is walking. Walking is literally the best way to effortlessly burn calories. You don't need a fast walk. You don't need to be sweating your balls off. Casually walking, okay? This contributes to your NEAT. The second I got serious about my step count, that is when I effortlessly lost fat. That is when I really started to see changes in my body, and I was able to maintain them by keeping my step count consistent every single day. Every single day I hit my step goal without fail, and I have for years, besides when I'm sick, obviously. Don't switch up your workouts weekly or even monthly. This is a huge misconception that I see in the fitness industry, and it's because you see these fitness influencers posting different workouts every day because they're recording content, they're trying to get content. That is the fucking opposite of what you should do if you have legitimate goals to build muscle. You do not want to be doing different workouts every other week or even every other month. You don't. Like I said, boring shit. Boring ass shit is what works. I have been doing these same workouts for probably 6 years now, okay? Give or take, I do switch up my accessory moves every few months if I get bored of them. But I know I know what areas I want to target, okay? I know what exercises work best for my body because I have bulging discs in my lower back. I've been living with a back injury since I was 14. I know what exercises work for me. There is literally no point in straying away from them. Once you find compound movements that you really like and you really build and progressively overload and build a ton of strength, why would you stray away from that? Strength is a byproduct of muscle. The only way that you can gain strength is by repeatedly doing that movement over and over again over a long period of time. That's how you will build strength, progressively overloading. If you're constantly changing up your workouts, you're going to compromise your form most likely because you haven't even mastered one thing. If you haven't mastered some compound movements, you have no fucking business constantly changing up your workouts. It's just ineffective. But if you're training just for mental health and you really don't give a fuck aesthetically, go ahead and do whatever you want. That's totally fine. But I'm talking about the people who are frustrated because they've been lifting for a few years and they're seeing no results. Because you're looking in the wrong places. Most fitness influencers have no idea what the fuck is effective. Sorry. Personal trainers too. Like, I see personal trainers at my gym having people do the dumbest fucking shit ever. And I'm just thinking to myself, you're wasting so much time and money, and I wish I could tell you, but it's not my place. It's a fucking Canon event. So when it comes to building an effective workout program to progressively overload and actually gain muscle, all you really need is 3 compound movements and 1 or 2 accessories. That is it. That is it. Everything else is junk. Junk volume. You're literally wasting your time. Okay, if you're in the gym for over an hour, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know how do people have time to be in the gym for over an hour? That's fucking crazy. I'm out of there in 45 to 50 minutes. Done. Because most of the time I'm doing 2 or 3 compounds and probably 1 or 2 accessories, depending. And then in terms of building muscle, don't just go through the motions. If you're just going through the motions and you're kind of looking around, you're not really out of breath, like you're not really working yourself that hard, do you really think that you're going to build muscle? No. You need to be pushing yourself. And an easy way to do that is stop just doing standard sets. Stop just doing like 3 times 10. Like, it's just not very effective unless you are pushing yourself and you are increasing your weight. But the easiest way to structure progressive overload in your routine is by reverse pyramid training or regular pyramid training. I mean, if you're a beginner, then I would highly recommend doing regular pyramid training to begin with, just so you can kind of see what your limits are as far as weight. But if you're more advanced and you're not reverse pyramid training, what are you doing? What are you doing? I have that built into my programs for the girls in LARK 310. 3 weightlifting workouts a week, 10,000 steps a day. That's literally my program, LARK 310. 3 weightlifting workouts a week, 10,000 steps a day. That is all you need. You really don't need to be in the gym more than 3 days a week, especially when you're trying to lose weight, because when you go to the gym and you're lifting heavy, you're gonna get tired, okay? You probably won't really wanna move around the rest of the day, so your step count is gonna be less. Again, you go to the gym to build muscle, not to burn calories. So if you're trying to lose weight, like I said, the best way to increase the amount of calories you're burning is to walk. Increase your step count. Keep your knee high up there. You can't do that if you're going to the gym 4 or 5 days a week, lifting heavy as shit every day. You're fatiguing, exhausting yourself. You're not gonna wanna go for a walk. You know what I mean? Like naturally, when you're not running your body into the ground, your need is higher because your body doesn't need to conserve energy and it wants to move around. Hopefully that makes sense. Sticking to your calorie deficit is number 1. Most important thing you should focus on. Number 2 is steps. 8 to 10,000 steps every single day. More if you can. More if it's sustainable for you. 3 is weightlifting. 3 weightlifting workouts a week, progressively overloading. That's the formula right there. That is it. That is what has built me this body, okay? Change of scenery. I had to come upstairs because Joe is downstairs walking on the walking pad. So I want to make sure it's quiet enough. But the last thing that we're gonna be talking about, and arguably the most important, in my opinion, is the mental. It's the mental stuff. I kid you not, the biggest reason that I was able to make the changes that I have is from working on myself mentally over the past years. These are the not so obvious things that I feel like people overlook. So, all right, we'll just start in the order that I put them in. So sorry if it's all over the place, but chewing your food and slowing down when you're eating. Like so random, you're thinking, how could that possibly be affecting my weight loss? How could that possibly affect my fat loss? Because if you're just inhaling your meals and you're done in 5 minutes, your body has no time to catch up to your brain. Like it hasn't even computed that you've just eaten. So of course you think you're still hungry and you're gonna go in the fridge and you're gonna eat more food because you're not even giving your body a fair chance to catch up and digest. A lot of times if you eat a meal and you walk away for 20 minutes or whatever, you go for a little digestion walk or something and you come back to the kitchen, you're probably not gonna be hungry anymore for whatever you're about to grab and eat. So it is really important. And then chewing your food. Your stomach doesn't have teeth, okay? You need to be chewing your food until it's practically baby food because this will really help your digestion and it's gonna help you absorb nutrients and make you feel better. If your digestion sucks, you're constantly bloated, think about how quickly you're inhaling your meals. It's not good for you. From a perspective that's not even a weight loss perspective, just generally how you're feeling, your gut health affects your mental health so much. So it's really important to pay attention to these things. And I know it's overwhelming, the amount of things you see on the internet and how many little things that you have to keep in mind, which is why this is a journey, okay? You're not gonna do a whole 180 overnight. It takes years. So take it one day at a time. One thing at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. You have your entire life, okay? Important. Creating boundaries with yourself, friends, and family. Extremely important because your environment plays a huge role in how you're able to adhere to a calorie deficit and your success on a fitness journey. You have to create boundaries with yourself first, okay? Like, we're all different. I don't know what your boundaries may be, but I have my own for myself, especially regarding food and not overdoing dessert, because if I intuitively ate, yes, realistically, I know what foods I should be eating, but if I were to really eat whatever I wanted, I would eat a lot of sweet treats and dessert and disregard protein, honestly, if I was strictly going off my mental. But physically, I know how certain foods affect me and make me feel, which is why I eat the way that I do. I do eat a little bit more strategically because of the goals that I have and maintaining muscle mass, obviously, performance, energy, etc. But I have boundaries with sweet treats and moderation, which obviously I have built and practiced over the years to the point now where, like, I can have anything in my house. I'm not just going to down it. I'm not just going to eat all of it in one sitting. But a boundary that I did have to get a little bit more strict with when I was eating in a calorie deficit is 1 sweet treat a night. 1 sweet treat after dinner. Not overdoing it. Not eating food just to eat it, just to get a dopamine hit. If I'm not hungry, don't eat the sweet treat. But most of the time, I need a little something. I need a little sweet treat because sweet treats make me very happy. And it's just a boundary, a personal boundary that I have with myself is 1 sweet treat or no sweet treat if I'm really not hungry whatsoever. Other boundaries is like having conversations with your parents, having conversations with your friends. I mean, the most important conversations to have are with the people that you are living with so that they know how to support you, they know how you want them to show up and respect your situation, your fitness journey, you have to verbalize that, because people are not mind readers. You have to tell them what's going on. So obviously I tell my parents. I mean, at this point, they're used to the way that I live my life, but I don't want to eat out at dinner when I go visit home. I don't want to eat out every single night, okay? Like, I want to have a home cooked meal. I have no problem grocery shopping and making dinner for everybody. Like, I have no issue doing that. Like, I just don't want to eat out all the time. It doesn't make me feel good. I really don't enjoy it. When I do want to eat out, it's for me. It's because I genuinely want it, not because I'm people pleasing or because I'm being guilt tripped into eating something. I think that this is a huge problem for a lot of people, is that they just don't know how to say no. They don't know how to have uncomfortable conversations and create boundaries. I understand, but you have to be selfish on a fitness journey. You have to put yourself first. You have to have these uncomfortable conversations to set your boundaries with yourself, friends, family, whoever you're living with, roommates. You got to do it. It's important. And everybody's boundaries are going to be different. Like, how you need to be supported on your fitness journey could be totally different than me. But it is important. Being honest with yourself. So being honest with yourself regarding exercise, food, really anything. I think the main point that I want to focus on here is being honest with yourself with food and hunger. Don't eat just to eat, just to taste food. Eat because you are actually hungry. And understand that you don't need to always eat for satisfaction. This is so important. I know I already touched on this, but food is fuel, and if you give it so much power and let it hold so much emotional value in your life, a calorie deficit is going to be very, very challenging for you. So you really need to get honest with yourself when you're having a meal. Am I actually hungry right now? What do I need this meal to do for me? Do I need energy from this meal? And then listening to your body. Stopping when you're full. Yes, maybe you have already put everything in MyFitnessPal, but you're halfway through the meal and you're not hungry anymore. Put the rest of it in the fridge and then eat it later if you get hungry again. And if you don't, okay, just work around the numbers a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. Being in the ballpark is what matters, not perfection. But you really need to be honest with yourself when it comes to hunger and satiety and not eating just to eat. And I know that that's hard, especially if you don't have other sources of joy and happiness in your life, which you need to get some hobbies. You need to get busy. Suggest going for a walk with friends or playing pickleball or something that doesn't revolve food. Something that doesn't revolve food. Be the change. If nobody else in your friend group is the one saying, let's go for a walk, set the example. You have to lead the way for some people. And a lot of times they'll be thankful for it, because some people are just afraid to say, like, no, I don't want to go out to eat. No, I don't want to eat greasy bar food. No, I don't want to go have 5 margaritas. Yes, I want to see you. Yes, I want to spend time with you. But I am on a health journey right now, and that just doesn't really align with the goals that I have. What is the worst thing that's going to happen? If somebody gets fucking mad at you for how you are choosing to treat your body and the changes that you want to make to improve your health, fuck that person. That is not somebody you want in your life. Good fucking bye. A lot of times that stems from jealousy, because people want to stay on the same level as you. They don't want to see you doing better than them, because it makes them feel bad. It makes them feel like they're doing something wrong or they need to change. That has nothing to do with you. So yeah, you might have to cut some people off when you're on a fitness journey. That's the reality. Self-regulating and noticing patterns. Self-regulation is important, and I'm always going to advocate for mental health because I have a psychology background. That's what I went to school for. So you really need to pay attention to your mental health. You should meditate. You should journal. And when I say meditate, I don't mean sitting there in silence. And like, what is meditation? People don't understand it. Look up guided breath work on YouTube, or listen to a guided meditation or affirmations. My favorite breath work videos to follow are Breathe with Sandy. Breathe with Sandy. A lot of his breathwork sessions are only 5 to 10 minutes. You have 5 to 10 minutes a day to regulate your nervous system, okay? And it will do wonders for you. I do it every single morning. And I honestly should do it at night too, but I'm lazy. I can commit to one thing. I know when to not overcommit myself. Noticing patterns. It's important to notice the patterns that you're having around food or with certain types of foods. Like, if you have binge eating tendencies, then there probably are going to be some foods that you should just not keep in the house for the time being. until you foster a better relationship with yourself and your mental health, and you're in a better place to where you can add those things in again. But it's not all bad to give yourself the space to not even have that, to not even have the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's things that are too tempting to you, don't buy them. Self-explanatory, okay? That is fucking self-care. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not fucking disordered, okay? You realistically know what is best for you, and don't let anybody gaslight you into believing otherwise. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more strict with yourself for the time being. Totally normal. Okay, this is important. Be firm with the days and times that you're going to the gym. Psychologically, when you plan something out, the exact days, the exact times that you're going, you're more likely to follow through. So I have a weekly schedule that I follow every single week. I plan it out every Sunday. I know the exact days and times that I'm going to the gym, that I'm going to Pilates. Don't let it be negotiable. Have a schedule. Stick to your schedule. You're more likely to follow through that way. If you have no plan and you go into the week just like based off how you're feeling, you know, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to go, or maybe I'll go this day, or maybe I'll go at this time, that's not going to get you anywhere. You need structure. Focusing too much on the end result instead of building sustainable habits and focusing on the little improvements that you see every day. Not everything has to be aesthetic, and I highly recommend that you focus on other things, because the aesthetic parts will come when you're actually focusing in the right areas and prioritizing the right things. Focus on the actions that you can take every day. You cannot control the scale and what the scale says, so control the actions that you take every day. Hitting your steps, hitting your calories, setting yourself up for success, going to the gym, creating those boundaries, doing the self-regulation, taking care of your mental health, okay? I know it's a lot of fucking things and it's overwhelming, which is why I said, you're not going to do a complete 180, so don't expect yourself to do that. And like, I know you don't want to hear that. You want to be where you want to be and you want these changes to happen overnight, but realistically, it's taken me years to get where I am, transparently. Balance. That's a word you hear all the time in the fitness world. Balance within reason, okay? Balance within reason. And balance is going to look different for everybody, depending on what their goals are, the current state that their mind and physique is in. Balance is going to be different for everybody. Balance for me is 80-20, the 80-20 rule. 80% whole foods, 20% processed. And when I was eating in a calorie deficit, it was a little bit more strict. It was a little bit more like 90-10. I knew that I needed to reel it in and get serious about it. You have to be more strategic when you have less calories to work with. Prioritizing whole foods is going to keep you full, make you feel good, give you the energy that you need, versus eating a bunch of fast food and processed garbage that's not really going to give you energy, not going to make you feel great physically or mentally, make you sluggish, not be able to get through your workouts. You have to be more strategic when you're eating in a deficit, matter of fact. But within balance, within reason, okay? I still ate out and drank alcohol every single weekend because that is sustainable and doable for me. I could still stick to my deficit while doing that. So it's important to not compare your balance to somebody else's. Everyone is different. Meet yourself where you're at. Balance for some of my clients is, in the beginning, you know, cutting back their fast food from every single day to maybe 4 or 5 times a week. Like, it's different for everybody, and it's gonna change. You're gonna evolve. It's gonna get easier. It's a process. It sucks, but you're never gonna get anywhere unless you start. This is another good one. There's no messing up. Oh, I messed up. Oh, I need to start over. I need to start again on Monday. I was bad this weekend. I need to start over on Monday and go back to being good. There's no messing up. There's taking accountability, knowing what you need to do, and moving on. That is it. There's no messing up. There's no falling off track, like these common phrases that you hear. There's just moving forward. You do what you do. You take actions. You learn from them. You take accountability. You know what needs to get done, and you do it. You build discipline. That's it. There's no dwelling and throwing a pity party and feeling guilty. None of that shit serves you. None of that shit does any good for you on a fitness journey. It just sets you back and it depletes you. It depletes you mentally. And then on that topic, if you are continuously binging and restricting and you can't stick to your calorie deficit, you probably shouldn't be eating in a calorie deficit. I just made a video about this on TikTok, but if this is a constant thing that you've been dealing with for months, a calorie deficit is probably not the answer for you. You need to get well mentally, and you're not going to do that by having constant diet chatter and all of these thoughts regarding losing weight and dieting. You have to get healthy mentally first, because if you continuously try to lose weight when you're not in a healthy mindset, you're going to stay in the same cycle. It's too difficult. You need to heal mentally. Take some time off, take a maintenance break, work out for health reasons, eat whole foods for health reasons. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I think that's like another important thing, is understanding for yourself. Is it balance, or am I justifying? Am I making excuses? Because you can lock in or you can be more lenient. Whatever rate of fat loss works for you is the best one. It doesn't matter. Like I said, a 250 calorie deficit to a 500 calorie deficit, wherever you fall depends on you and your goals, what's realistic for you in your mental state at that time. Maybe half a pound a week is what is sustainable for you. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a race. It is not a race. Enjoy the process. All right. That's it. I pretty much covered everything. I know that is a lot, but those are the things that I feel like are the most important. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one. I promise I won't record on slow-mo. So a full day of eating is coming next week. But thank you for watching.